What if I told you there's a place on Earth where you can ski world-class powder in the morning, surf Pacific waves in the afternoon, and watch grizzly bears catch salmon at sunset? All in the same day. I just spent 3 months exploring every corner of British Columbia, and what I discovered will completely change how you think about Canada. From a hidden lake that glows electric blue to an island where time literally stopped in 1912, these aren't just travel destinations, they're portals to experiences you never knew existed. But here's the crazy part. 90% of travelers completely miss the most incredible spot on this entire list. Can you guess which one it is? Stick around because number 3 will blow your mind. And what happens at number 1? Let's just say it involves a 2,000-year-old tree that could change your life forever. Hey travel enthusiasts, welcome to the channel. Before we dive into this epic journey across BC, if this is your first time on this channel or you haven't subscribed before, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you. Now let's dive into the countdown. Location 10, Tofino. We're starting our countdown at number 10 with Tofino, but this isn't your typical beach destination story. Picture this. I'm staying in this incredible floating cabin, and at 5 a.m. I hear this thunderous sound. I rush outside thinking it's a storm, but instead, there are 30-foot waves crashing just meters from my bed. Tofino sits on Vancouver Island's rugged west coast, where the Pacific Ocean meets ancient rainforests. But here's what makes it special. It's one of the few places on Earth where you can experience both tropical-style beaches and temperate rainforest in the same afternoon. The surfing here is legendary, but wait until you see what happens when the tide goes out. These tidal pools become like natural aquariums filled with sea stars, anemones, and creatures that look like they're from another planet. I found this purple sea urchin that was literally the size of a dinner plate. And the food scene? Let's just say having fresh Dungeness crab while watching the sunset over the Pacific isn't a bad way to end the day. But we're just getting started. Hit that like button if you're already adding Tofino to your bucket list. Location 9, Sun Peaks. Number 9 will surprise you. Sun Peaks. Now, you might be thinking, another ski resort. But Sun Peaks has a secret that makes it completely different from anywhere else in North America. This isn't just a ski destination, it's a European-style alpine village that was literally designed by the same architects who built some of Switzerland's most famous resorts. The skiing is incredible, over 4,200 acres of terrain, but here's the crazy part. Sun Peaks gets an average of 559 centimeters of snow annually, and it's so dry and perfect that locals call it champagne powder. But plot twist, Sun Peaks transforms completely in summer. Those ski runs become mountain bike trails, and the village turns into this incredible hub for hiking, ziplining, and, wait for it, scenic chairlift rides that offer 360-degree views of the entire Thompson Valley. I met this local guide who told me something fascinating. Sun Peaks was originally a cattle ranch, and some of the original ranch buildings are still hidden in the forest. Want to know where? Keep watching because I'm sharing those secret locations later in this video. Location 8, Golden. Number 8 is Golden, and no, it's not named after the metal. This small town of just 4,000 people sits at the heart of 6 different mountain ranges, making it one of the most geographically unique places in Canada. I came here thinking I'd do some casual hiking, but ended up white water rafting down the Kicking Horse River Class 4 rapids that had me questioning my life choices. But the real adventure started when I discovered the Via Ferrata. Imagine rock climbing meets zip lining meets pure terror. You're clipped into cables while traversing cliff faces 400 feet above the valley floor. And then this happened. I'm halfway across this suspended bridge when our guide suddenly whispers, "Don't move." There, just 50 meters below us, was a massive grizzly bear fishing for salmon. This is real wilderness, folks. Golden is one of the few places where you can see grizzly bears, black bears, mountain goats, and if you're really lucky, wolves, all in their natural habitat. But here's what most people don't know about Golden. It's home to some of the best heli skiing in the world, and in summer, those same helicopters will take you to alpine meadows filled with wildflowers that look like something from a fairy tale. Comment below if you've ever had a wildlife encounter that made your heart skip a beat. Location 7, Nelson. Number 7 is Nelson, a town that feels like it was frozen in time, but in the best possible way. Nelson has over 350 heritage buildings, making it one of the most well-preserved Victorian-era towns in Western Canada. Walking these streets feels like stepping into a movie set. But the real magic happens on Kootenay Lake. This massive lake stretches for 104 kilometers and is surrounded by mountains that create these incredible mirror reflections. The art scene here is incredible. I discovered galleries, studios, and cafes run by artists who moved here from all over the world, drawn by this creative energy that you can literally feel in the air. And the outdoor activities? You can kayak pristine lakes, hike to waterfalls, or take the world's longest free ferry ride across Kootenay Lake. The food scene punches way above its weight for a town of 10,000 people. I had some of the best farm-to-table cuisine of my entire trip at this little restaurant overlooking the lake. But what really got me was the sunsets. The way the light reflects off the lake and lights up these Victorian buildings, it's pure magic. Location 6. Prince Rupert. Number 6 is Prince Rupert, Canada's rainiest city, and before you click away, hear me out because this negative is actually what makes it incredible. Prince Rupert is the heart of First Nations culture on the West Coast. The Museum of Northern British Columbia here houses one of the world's finest collections of Indigenous art and artifacts. But the rain creates something magical, this misty, mystical atmosphere that's perfect for one of the world's best whale watching experiences. We saw orcas, humpback whales, and Dall's porpoises all in one morning. And because it's a major fishing port, the seafood here is incredible. I'm talking about halibut so fresh it was swimming that morning, and Dungeness crab that locals just casually buy at the harbor. But here's the secret that most people don't know: Prince Rupert is one of the best places in Canada to see the northern lights. The combination of low light pollution and northern latitude creates perfect conditions. Plus, it's the gateway to the Inside Passage ferry system, which might be one of the most scenic ferry rides on the planet. Location 5. Yoho National Park. Number 5 is Yoho National Park, and this place has a secret that geologists from around the world come to study. Hidden in these mountains is the Burgess Shale, 508 million-year-old fossils that completely changed how we understand life on Earth. We're talking about creatures so bizarre they look like aliens. But you don't need to be a scientist to appreciate Yoho. Takaka Falls drops 373 meters, making it one of Canada's highest waterfalls. The name means, "it is wonderful," in Cree, and trust me, it lives up to the name. Then there's Lake O'Hara, arguably the most beautiful alpine area in the Canadian Rockies. But here's the catch: access is so limited you need to book months in advance or hike 11 kilometers to get there. And for something completely different, the spiral tunnels are an engineering marvel where trains literally spiral through mountains. Watching a kilometer-long freight train disappear into a mountain never gets old. I spent 3 days camping here, and on my last night, I woke up to this incredible sound. It was a pack of wolves howling in the distance. That moment, lying under stars in this pristine wilderness, was pure magic. If you're loving this journey through BC, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're about to enter the top 4, and things are about to get incredible. Location 4. Sea to Sky Highway. Number 4 isn't just a destination, it's the Sea to Sky Highway, one of the world's most scenic drives, connecting Vancouver to Whistler. Your first major stop is Shannon Falls, 335 meters of cascading water that you can hear from the highway. But the real adventure starts when you take the Chief Trail. The Stawamis Chief is this massive granite monolith that offers 3 different summit hikes. I chose the middle peak, and after 2 hours of steep climbing, the view literally took my breath away. But if you want the views without the climb, the Sea to Sky gondola takes you 885 meters up in just 10 minutes. At the top, there's a suspension bridge that spans a 100-meter canyon. And then you reach Whistler, host of the 2010 Winter Olympics and home to the Peak 2 Peak gondola, which holds world records for both length and height. But my favorite stop was Brandywine Falls, a 70-meter waterfall that you can view from a platform suspended right over the canyon. The mist hitting your face while surrounded by old-growth forest is unforgettable. Pro tip: there are dozens of hidden waterfalls and swimming holes along this route that most tourists miss. The locals call them local secrets, and I'm sharing the exact GPS coordinates in the description below. Location 3. Haida Gwaii. Number 3 is where things get really special. Haida Gwaii, formerly known as the Queen Charlotte Islands. This is that place I mentioned in the intro that 90% of travelers completely miss. Haida Gwaii isn't just beautiful, it's sacred. This archipelago of 150 islands has been home to the Haida people for over 10,000 years, and their culture is woven into every aspect of these islands. On Anthony Island, there's a UNESCO World Heritage Site called Haida Gwaii, where ancient Haida village sites and totem poles stand exactly as they were left centuries ago. Walking among these monuments is like stepping through time. But the wildlife here is what really sets Haida Gwaii apart. These islands evolved in isolation, creating species found nowhere else on Earth. The Haida Gwaii black bear is 20% larger than mainland bears, and there's a subspecies of deer mouse found only here. And if you're incredibly lucky, you might spot a spirit bear, a rare white-colored black bear that the Haida consider sacred. I spent 5 days searching and never saw one, but just being in their habitat was incredible. Hidden in the forest on the east side of the islands are natural hot springs where you can soak while watching eagles soar overhead. The water is heated by underwater volcanic activity and maintains a perfect 40 degrees Celsius year-round. What struck me most about Haida Gwaii wasn't just the pristine wilderness, it was the sense of connection to something ancient and sacred. This place changes you. Drop a comment if you've ever been somewhere that changed your perspective on life. Location 2. Cathedral Grove and AMP, Pacific Rim. Number 2 combines two incredible experiences: Cathedral Grove and the Pacific Rim, creating the perfect nature and adventure combo. Cathedral Grove is home to some of the oldest and largest trees in Canada. Walking among 800-year-old Douglas firs that are 9 meters in circumference is a humbling experience. These giants were here before European explorers ever reached North America. The silence in this old-growth forest is profound. The canopy is so thick that even on bright days, it feels like twilight on the forest floor. It's cathedral-like, hence the name. Just an hour away is Pacific Rim National Park, where that same ancient forest meets the wild Pacific Ocean. The contrast is incredible, from the quiet reverence of the old growth to the raw power of Pacific storms. Long Beach stretches for 16 kilometers of pristine sand, and during storm season, the waves can reach 10 meters high. I watched surfers tackle waves that looked impossible to survive. But storm watching from the comfort of a beachfront lodge is an experience unto itself. Massive Pacific storms roll in with winds over 100 kilometers per hour, and watching nature's power from a cozy window seat with hot chocolate is unforgettable. The wildlife viewing here is incredible. Gray whales migrate past the shore, sea otters play in the kelp forests, and bald eagles are so common you almost take them for granted. I'll never forget sitting on a log at sunset, watching gray whales breach just offshore, while behind me, ancient trees stood as silent witnesses to thousands of years of sunsets just like this one. Location 1. The Great Bear Rainforest. And our number 1 destination is the Great Bear Rainforest, 6.4 million hectares of pristine temperate rainforest, making it the largest intact temperate rainforest on Earth. Remember that 2,000-year-old tree I mentioned at the beginning? It's here, a massive western red cedar that was already ancient when Rome was still an empire. Standing next to it, you realize how brief human life really is. This is also home to the rare spirit bear I mentioned earlier, a white-colored black bear found nowhere else on Earth. Only about 1,000 exist, making a sighting rarer than seeing a polar bear. The Great Bear Rainforest is company managed by First Nations communities who have lived here for thousands of years. Their traditional knowledge guides conservation efforts and visitor experiences. The biodiversity here is staggering: grizzly bears, black bears, spirit bears, wolves, mountain goats, and over 200 bird species. It's like Noah's Ark, but real. Access is only by boat or float plane, which keeps visitor numbers low and the experience authentic. I joined a small boat tour that felt more like an expedition than tourism. Standing in this ancient forest, surrounded by trees older than Christianity, watching a spirit bear fish for salmon while eagles soar overhead. It's not just beautiful, it's transformational. This place reminds you why conservation matters, not just for future generations, but for the human soul that needs wild places to remain truly alive. So there you have it, 10 incredible destinations that showcase why British Columbia might be Canada's most diverse and beautiful province. Which destination surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing about your travel dreams and experiences. If this video inspired your next adventure, smash that like button and subscribe for more incredible travel content. Ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest discoveries. And here's my challenge for you: pick one of these destinations and start planning your visit. Life's too short to keep these places on your someday list. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and remember the world is full of incredible places waiting to be discovered. See you in the next adventure.